Today we're talking Storybook Land's Christmas fantasy with lights.
With lights.
Stay tuned to find out.
Hello and welcome to Couple Chat.
Where we
Parents.
discuss topics for you.
Parents. I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie. Let's chat. We got tickets to Storybook Land for the winter season as a gift from my mom. And the thing about the Storybook Land winter season is there are reservations required. So It's definitely something you need to plan ahead. They open up reservations pretty early on. I think they were available like November 1st and the season started November 18th. It's from what I'm remembering from the website. But you can actually reserve a day where you're going to go with your family to meet Santa, get dressed up all nice or whatever you want to do to actually go to an amusement park and celebrate the beginning of the Christmas season, which is really cool. We went on this particular day right after our 3-day of Thanksgiving extravaganza.
Yeah, in hindsight, definitely would not have done that.
My mom called it too.
She did.
She literally said,
give it to her.
"You're going to be dead tired. Are you sure?" Yeah. No, this is the only day. We have plans the next 6 weekends.
Which I think you were forgetting that this weekend was empty.
I thought this weekend we were going to be able to go see that show.
Yeah.
So it just didn't dawn on me until after we couldn't get the tickets.
That makes sense.
To have her change it.
Right.
But regardless of the fact, she got us the gift to schedule it that Sunday right after Thanksgiving. And honestly, it's really cool that you can reserve that spot. I think they do that though because they want to make sure they have the staffing, that they don't have too many people trying to get into the park, but also they don't have too few. Because I feel like there's a minimum capacity there. They're not going to open a park and light up all these lights and start up all these rides without there being at least, maybe 100 people or more. I feel like it just wouldn't make sense if they didn't have those reservations ahead of time.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something to look into before you're considering going.
And it was raining.
It's just our luck. The first time was so much fun, and it was a nice day.
This time was fun. This time was fun.
This time was so much different than the last.
Different. Yeah.
What I love about Storybook Land is they open for the seasons. So they've been doing this for years. Six Flags Great Adventure only just started doing it in the last 5-6 years.
You could tell because when you get there, it feels like they've been doing this a long time.
Right.
The environment is baked into the place.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe that we didn't even notice these things when we were there in the summer. I don't know, do they block it off? Do they cover it up with something else? I don't know, but these places are there. They have to be.
Yeah.
Just knowing now what we know being there.
Yeah. And it's just amazing to me that they were able to rebrand everything and make it, one of the coolest parts about it was they rebranded an entire ride for the holidays. The sleigh ride?
I don't think it's rebranded. It's a ride I'm telling you, they hide it or something.
I don't think they hide it. I think they literally switch out the cars on it because during the winter, it's sleigh ride. Yeah. But during the fall and the summer, it's another type of those rides, like a pirate ship or something like that. I do remember. No, it's the Dumbo ride. It's the Dumbo ride.
Are you sure?
I am positive it's the Dumbo ride because there was no Dumbo ride and there was in the summer.
Was there?
Yes, because the kids went on it.
I'll have to look through the videos.
We definitely will. But I just loved that ride. It was so much fun. That was my highlight of the night because the snow machine, the, magic that I saw on Emma's face because Emma and I were in the sleigh ride together. Yeah. And every time she'd look up and she was just so in awe. The fact that Nate could sit on his own, which is mind blowing because he's so big now. this kid, he's growing up, man, and it's like really amazing. But
It's bittersweet for sure.
yeah,
Seeing your child go from this potato to a living human being that has opinions.
oh, the strongest of opinions.
Yes.
Wonderful.
It's like he's our kid or something.
It's like his dad has opinions and his mom has even stronger opinions. And, you know, he's just a mismatch
He's a
of both of us.
firecracker, that's for sure. Definitely a redhead.
Mm-hmm. But I just loved how they rebranded everything. And like you said, these buildings are there. I remember seeing the garage when we were there in the summer. We just never walked over there to like actually see what was inside. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole thing is you go there to see the lights. They have a light show. And Santa. And yes, it was raining, but it wasn't too bad where like the rides weren't open. The rides were still going, which was okay. I didn't feel too unsafe.
Most of the rides are covered, thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
That definitely makes things better.
Yeah.
In any element.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're walking around the park and it's raining and, you know, it's cold, it sucks.
Yeah.
There were plenty of times where we were like, oh my God, this is terrible. But
and Nate's pants were soaked through because he's sitting in a stroller getting wet. And it's like, I'm so sorry.
But of course, he didn't want to stop for a second anyway.
No, and he wouldn't let us
care.
change him.
Yeah. But we trudged through and we didn't spend that much time there, thankfully. I think if we went for a longer period of time, we would have been more frustrated. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest mistake we made, though, was we didn't give ourselves enough time to eat anything.
Yeah.
But it kind of worked out in our favor because the food's really expensive there, and we've said this before about Storybook Land. Yeah. Everything's awesome there. You can bring your own food, but if you do get food there, it's pretty expensive, and it's not really that great. It's okay.
It wasn't bad. It was just we spent $68 on the four of us, and I mean, we could have just brought our own, and it would have been free.
Yeah.
Or less, because like
free,
there's a Wawa down the street.
Yeah.
You know, we could have brought sandwiches and coolers and whatever.
The problem is we got there around 4:30 because we were there for Santa and the lights. And the way it works is they don't turn on the lights until 5 o'clock. So we figured if we got there a little early, we would be there in time for the spectacle. And honestly, if we were there beforehand, I just don't see why it would have been that great. The park has these lights all set up around it. And then if you go and you do everything before and then, 5 o'clock rolls around, the lights turn on, then what? Then what are you going to do? You're going to go around again?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, I would rather just get there when we did, see the lights turn on, and now you could walk around the park with all these beautiful lights on and go on the rides.
Yeah.
And then leave. But ultimately, I was just saying that, like, but then you get to the point with the food where it's like, we were there for dinner. We were there at night.
Yeah.
We don't want to bring sandwiches. We wanted hot food. And like, we kind of promised the kids pizza. So thankfully, like, you know, we waited until we left.
Yeah.
But worked out in our favor because one of our favorite pizza places has a location down there, Maurizio's. So freaking good.
We shared slices in the car, and like Nate and Emma ate their own slice, and we were just like, it was very wholesome and warm and just like perfect end to a pretty fun night, I thought.
Even though it was raining, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, another thing about it was, like you said, it was kind of, you know, silly to like get there early. We got there just in time. We rode 2 rides right before Santa came out. Santa has this really cool like elevator on his chimney on the house that they set up for him, and he like comes out and he's like, "Oh, come in."
I didn't know there was an elevator.
Yeah, it's like a cool like they kind of like raise him up out of the chimney, and then they lower him back down, and you know, he's just there, and he's like, "Hey kids, you should be good for your parents and your teachers and blah blah blah," and then he does this thing where he's like, "I need your Christmas spirit to turn the lights on," and everyone's like, "Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas," Yeah. And
all night while we were setting up decorations, Jackie's been like, "Okay, guys, I need your magic. I need your Christmas spirit."
I
was like, "All right."
Yeah. Now he remembers why.
I guess.
Because
I forgot.
You've recorded it. Him saying,
Dude,
I need your Christmas spirit.
It was raining.
Okay. Anyway. So.
And we didn't have the wands.
No, I know. But like Santa's asking for Christmas spirit made the lights go on. Y'all can't see me if you're not watching the video, but I'm doing many air quotes. But the kids loved it. Like Emma wasn't really sure. She was just like kind of trying to see and like unsure about it. But like once the lights went on, they just like they were looking all over the place. They were like, where do I look now? Like, it's just so beautiful. And I think that, you know, a lot of the people who were there for that moment had already been there for many hours.
Correct.
So what happened was everyone makes their way to the train. Now there's this train on site that goes around basically the perimeter of the park. You could see all the rides, except for like the petting zoo area in the back left-hand corner. But you see majority of the park on this train ride, right? And I feel like people went to that because they were like, well, we've ridden all the rides, as you mentioned, and none of the lights are on. So let's go and see the lights really quick.
Right.
So the line was so long, we had to wait for 2 trains to go.
Was it 2?
Yeah, because it was just...
The kids were being so good.
They were so
which is
good.
Rare. I was blown away. But they were waiting on that line really well. So I forgot it was even 2. I thought it was 1.
Yeah. Well, what was crazy about it was, you know, like I said, all these people gravitated toward the line. And by the time we got on the train, like Nate was so excited and he wanted to see the conductor and like he wanted to sit in the back of the train. And I was like, weirdo, but that's okay. And then it was so fun. Like those kids behind us and their mom, we just started singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like, out of the blue,
yep.
You know, the kids just started singing and Nate sang and I sang and she was like, man, the back of the train is having a real party. And I was like, I mean, if you can't have fun, what's the point? But I don't know. It was just really cool to be able to kind of get a sneak peek of all the lights going around the park.
Yeah. Because
there's some lights that you can't really see unless you're on the train. And there's that one tunnel where they really decorate the inside and like let you see what's going on behind the scenes for like the old, like the train model that this train is based on.
Right.
But I don't know. It was really fun. I think just their excitement and their joy of being there was really worth it. And even though it was raining and really stunk because we didn't have raincoats. We were afraid it would be too cold, so we had winter jackets thinking, oh, this will keep them warm and dry, and then the jackets soaked through anyway. And it was fun regardless. There was one roller coaster, though, that I went on with Nate, and we were the only ones on this ride. And
we were the only ones on a lot of rides. It was really just the train that there were people waiting. But I think it comes to the fact that, like you said, or like we said, most of the people were there early, saw what they wanted to see, and hightailed it out of there. Probably more because of the rain, not because, oh, cool, we saw everything. I think people just did that. Oh, it's the rain. We got here early. We did what we wanted to do and we left.
Right.
So, I mean, it worked to our benefit because we got on all the rides really easily.
Yeah. And I felt so bad for this kid. Nate was so excited to get on this roller coaster because we'd been on it in the summer and he loved it. And he's running up this ramp and that kid face planted.
I forgot about that.
Oh my goodness. And he just went silent and then all of a sudden like blood curdling like screaming. I could see him grabbing at his face and I was like, oh my god.
At the roller coaster went from cheery and happy and then all of a sudden she's like, oh my god, is he okay?
Like, is he all right? And I was like,
that's funny.
I checked on him,
but also not funny.
He had a little blood on his teeth and I I checked his lip, and he had, his teeth had cut the inside of his mouth. And I checked on him. I was like, "Are you okay?" Really nervous and whatever. And he got up and he was screaming, and just kept walking and got on the roller coaster. We were in the front row of this Bubbles the Dragon roller coaster, and I was scared.
Why?
Because it was raining. I went on Nitro at Six Flags when I was younger. And when you're on a roller coaster in the rain, the raindrops are like needles. You know, they're smacking you in the face.
Sure.
Well, Storybook Land is quite covered by trees. And it wasn't like that for Bubbles. It was definitely more
Bubbles.
But I wasn't so much scared about like getting rained on. I was more afraid of like, how old's this roller coaster? Is it going to fall off the track? My son's going to get hurt.
You
I
are
was
thinking that?
So...
That's my fear.
I know.
She's thinking it.
And I was like...
See, I didn't
can't
go
tell
on.
Matt this.
I didn't go on because obviously Emma was there, or, toddler. She's under the height.
Yeah.
But worked out to my benefit because I didn't really want to go anyway.
Nope.
But if Emma was old enough, see, this is the thing I fear with having kids. There's going to be a point in my life where they're going to be like, "Daddy, come on. No, you have to go on. Let's go." And I'm going to be like, no, I will stand here with the stuff. You go with your mother.
I can't go with both of them. I can't clone myself. I can't tear myself in half and sit one of me with Nate and one of me with Emma. It's just not possible.
Then we're going to have a friend with us.
You're going to have to come. But I loved the whole thing, and I really think that it's definitely something you should consider if you're in New Jersey, or if you're going to travel to New Jersey, or if you're looking for something really fun to do. Even if you're there all day, they only open at 1
for
the winter season, and they close at 8. So
yeah, it's funny. They close. So in the winter, they open later and close later.
Yeah.
In the summer, they open earlier and close earlier.
Right.
Which is odd. You would think in the summer they would open earlier and close later.
But I think it's because of the lights. The winter time is the light show.
Right,
that's really what people are going there for. But we were the last people in the park. There was no one left except the employees.
That is the second time, by the way. When we went to Storybook Land in the summer, we were also pretty much the last people there.
We were being corralled into the gift shop. Yeah. Not this time, but last time, yeah, for sure.
Dude, so you didn't mention it, and I'm going to mention it. But they end you at the gift shop. I'm sure you guys have heard this exit through the gift shop. That's Storybook Land. Yeah. They literally push you through the gift shop at the end. And, it's obviously a great marketing ploy because it's like, haha, now you're going to buy all this stuff because your kid's going to see it while you're leaving. But I just want to give you props for being an awesome mom because he always wants something. This is the second time. The first time you did get him something, but you strayed him towards something like more creative and not just some silly toy that he's barely going to play with. Mm-hmm. And that worked the first time. But this time he picked up one of the wands and it's like, we already did the magic thing, dude. You didn't have the wand while we were in the park. You just used the magic in your body to do it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, he picked up the wand. He's like, "Mommy, I want this." And both of us could see PTSD, we know what's going to happen with this wand. Yeah. He's going to hit his sister with it, and there's going to be lots of crying, and it's going to be taken away, and he's going to flip. So I was ready to just be like, whatever, I don't care. I just want to get out of here. And this one just put her foot down, not angrily, not upset, just firmly put it down. "No, dude, we're good. We don't need it. Come on, we're going to go get pizza." And the security that was standing by the exit was like, "Pizza or a wand? Where are you getting the pizza?" And I was like, "Oh, Maurizio's." And he's like, "Oh my God, get the pizza, dude. Get the pizza." So
yeah, I mean,
yeah, but
that was my ticket out of there, man. Pizza. Mm-hmm. Pizza wins every time.
But it wasn't,
whether he wants it or not.
It wants it all the time.
Always.
He wants it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they force you to go through there.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful as a parent because when you're put in that situation where they're a place is trying to make you buy something. And that's the thing. They know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the parent. The parent can say no. It's the kids.
Mm-hmm.
The kids just want things.
Yeah.
They see something, I want. And you're stuck with the reaction of, okay, do I want to embarrass myself as a parent in front of everyone in the store? Or do I just want this to go away real quick?
Yeah.
And spend money.
Go away real quick.
I was. I'm that parent. We definitely are opposites.
Yep.
I am the good cop.
I am the bad cop.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Just make my life easy. It winds up not being easier. So
Never.
Yeah, so.
I did like the Santa part though. Of how like they allowed you into Santa's house. And Mrs. Claus did tell us on a rainy day, this is the best day to come visit Santa at Storybook.
Even though Emma is deathly afraid of Santa.
Petrified.
Yeah.
Petrified.
Yeah.
But she did say, she was like, today's wait's a little faster than yesterday's. Yesterday's was 2.5 hours to see Santa.
You imagine that?
2.5 hours?
You spend most of your time.
Way.
I wouldn't have done it.
No way. And honestly, there was no wait. We were behind one family and they were in there, 10 minutes? And we were talking to Mrs. Claus and it was great. And, I'd do it again. Even if it was in the rain. I mean, if it were a little bit colder, probably not, just because Emma's kind of on the edge of like getting off an illness and like I don't want to affect her health-wise, but.
Yeah, but you know what? Like if it was colder and like snowing or, like maybe just snowed or something, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do say like being out in that kind of cold, you don't really but you don't really get sick from that. No. Honestly, you get more sick from being in the rain. But she was fine. We were actually all fine after it.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy Storybook Lands. Honestly, yeah, it's a place that I want to keep going back to.
All year.
Yeah, 100%.
Nate literally asked me today. He was like, can we go to the rides today? I was like,
he kept saying that to me too.
I was like, pal, it's not an every weekend thing. I'm so sorry. Like, that was special. We went to meet Santa.
Right.
And he just like kind of was like, okay. And like went on playing. And I was just like, my heart's breaking. So I think after all is said and done, we had a pretty grand time. And I would do it again in a heartbeat.
100%. It's a cool place. And if you have kids and you're in New Jersey and you've never been, what are you guys doing?
You know how many parents I've told about Storybook Land in the last 4 months about how wonderful it is for our kids and like especially between the ages of 2 and 7, like that's really the age range they go for, and they have no clue.
Yeah. Or
they've been like, "Oh yeah, I think I've heard of it," and it's like, no, if you know about Storybook Land.
Funny enough, while I was at work, there was a guy that I was talking to, and they have been going every Christmas season.
Aww.
Since I guess his kids, I don't know if since they were born, I'm not sure. No, I think he said the last 4 years.
That's cool.
That makes sense actually, because you said 2 to 7 and there's 6. So last 4 years they would have been 2. So yeah.
That's cool. See, that's a nice family tradition.
Yeah.
For $30 a person or $32 a person, and for your under 2s to be free, it's worth it.
Yeah. Storybook Land, do it up.
Yeah.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie.
Here are the Hahns signing out.
Thank you so much for listening to Couple Chat. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify or YouTube Music, and check out our YouTube page to see this episode in video. Thank you to Hahn Films for editing and producing this episode. Talk to you soon.